Side Adventure number, I don't know, 3, I guess we're up to. But we're back again with tons of emails to read, and we have tonight with us the Fab Five, the Vicious Five, I don't know what we're going to call each other. We're the BCA team, whatever. We got Mike.
Fab Five.
We got Mike, we got Liz, we got Glenn, and we have the much-hated Crispy.
I'd like to think of us as the Sod All-Stars.
There we go.
The Sod All-Star team, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if he's the hated Crispy. He gets the most interesting fan mail.
Oh, we'll get into that real shortly.
Oh, yeah. I might lead off with that one.
Oh, Glenn, you are the official emailer of Sod, so you can decide which...
Can you rephrase that?
No, I don't think he can.
No, I don't think I can.
You're right.
You're the official Sodder.
Okay. Breaking news, a new email. Start right off the bat here. From trasklover@gmail.com, also known as Aaron G.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Aaron.
Hello.
He or she says, "Hi, Sodders. It's off to a great start, I can say that. Just wondering, since you guys did all the talk about Doctor Who, maybe you could do a side adventure on MST3K. Love to hear your favorite moments. Thanks, Aaron. P.S. Say hi to Crispy."
Aww.
Hi, Crispy.
Hi, Crispy.
Crispy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I'd be up with the MST3K thing.
Yeah, I
know
would
about
too.
you. Yeah.
I don't think I could narrow it down to a favorite moment, though. There were so many great episodes.
I could give you maybe a top 10.
Yeah.
So we'd have to
I think I could.
We'll have to spend the whole
hard
adventure.
fist, and that's mine.
We'd have to spend a whole side adventure doing that one.
Oh,
The
yeah.
master doesn't approve.
I keep up.
I do have to say, I did like the one Mitchell when Joel transitioned, when Mike and Joel transitioned back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
The hand,
Baby oil? No!
Knew your mother I did.
that and the Patrick Swayze Christmas song.
Yeah.
What, a Christmas
although
hymn can't have a good action sequence?
No.
I'm partial to the Wild Rebels commercial, so.
Anyway.
Yeah, we
we'll-
could do one of those, sure.
Yeah, we'll do one of those. Thanks, Aaron, and we appreciate it. I'm sure
Thank you, Aaron.
Crispy, who's
If,
being very
yeah.
silent, doesn't,
Keep writing.
No, I was just waiting. If anyone doesn't know, the MST3K guys are actually still riffing on stuff.
Yeah, Riff
They have a
Tracks.
website
Riff
called
Tracks.
Riff Tracks.
Yes.
And Cinematic Titanic.
Yeah, with Joel Hodgson.
Yeah.
Oh, Joel's doing Cinematic Titanic?
Uh-huh.
There's
Awesome.
the Joel team, there's the Mike team.
Awesome.
The Mike team was the last team that was on MST, which is Mike and
we know that.
the other two guys, anyway. And the other guys are like Trace and all the old schoolers.
I'm glad you got Trace to do it. Good.
Yeah, but I wish we could get like Trace and Kevin in the same room because them and Joel were like, that was the A team there.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, let us move on. Have another one from the Secret DM. Hey, everyone. So I've been meaning to ask the cast of Saber Die, of all the PCs you've created for classic D&D, who is or was your favorite character? What makes them so memorable? And, as a DM, which of your own villains was your favorite? What makes them stand out? Did the evil plans come to fruition, or did good triumph over evil? And by good, I'm obviously referring to players attacking the villain as he's starting his monologue that took you months to write out. Keep up the great work with the podcast. Regards, SDM.
Secret DM is actually writing articles on our website, so you can check those out.
Yeah, cool ones.
They're
So
very
what-
good.
So what's your favorite classic character?
Crispy.
Anybody?
I never got to play Classic. I always DM. Like, I'm really DM Crispy. I barely get to play.
What about villains, then?
My favorite villain is probably the Thorn Brothers, which were a set of brothers that I ran. The players accidentally killed one of the brothers, and then the other three wanted to get revenge. And they were really cool. They had a real neat dynamic between them. You had a caster, a warrior, and a thief. So, they would worked in tandem, and I actually killed a player with one of them.
Nice.
A player character, I
Yes.
No. It was during a LARP.
Don't kill your players!
We decided to use real swords.
You got to understand, here on Saber Die, Crispy, we have a hard time differentiating the players from the characters.
I'm still on parole.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear that, Aaron? He's still on patrol. He's a bad boy.
Stop it!
So let's go to Liz.
Well, I guess my favorite player for Classic, my favorite PC, for nostalgia's sake, would be the very first character I created right after I picked up the box set. And she was an elf, and her name was Lara. And
Croft?
I never gave her a last name, actually. About the only thing I could say that's memorable about her was she was the very first character that I ever made, and I still have that old beat-up character sheet somewhere in my notebook.
Nice.
My favorite villain was well, she wasn't really a villain so much, but more of a foil, but not in an evil sort of way, for a PC party. And she was a female version of one of the characters in the party. So it was kind of a turnabout is fair play sort of situation.
The evil twin?
Is that Callista?
Denitra.
Oh, yeah, for Terrell.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Terrell, I'm only in this for myself, and,
Screw
party,
the rest of you.
party loyalty is stupid, and then he comes up with against a character who has pretty much the same mindset he does, and initially he thought, oh, that's pretty cool, she thinks the same way I do. It's like, well, it wasn't quite so cool when you're on the receiving end of it. but there was no malice intended, it was just business.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll go since I'm next in line. Favorite character had to have been my faithful knight, Sir Ashton of Blackmoor. Lived through every edition of D&D that I ever played, and he was the stupidest character I've ever played as well.
Hooray!
Yay!
Because we would torture the DM with this character. Me and my friend, he had a paladin named Xander, and we would just team up and do stupid stuff. So if the DM went to the north, you'll find, we'd be like, to the north, and we'd just start racing off to the mountains.
That's my kind of character.
And the DM would just be sitting there like, oh, okay. And then, especially this one, we were picking on a new DM. She was running for the first time, and she screwed up the line, and she meant to say, seek out ye Thomas. So me and Xander, who were playing together in another edition, we went running around the tower looking for Seekium Thomas. Running around going, Seekium, where are you? Bashing down doors and acting like morons. All because she screwed it up.
He's quite literally lawful stupid.
Yes. He was a lawful stupid knight.
If you're going to play stupid, just go all the way. You don't do anything halfway. You just got to go for it.
Yeah, and favorite villain probably was... I'm going to have to say, I made up this, in one campaign, a god named Xander with a Z, and he challenged the players with a beholder, and it was actually like a 2-inch beholder coming at them. And they thought it was a...
about that.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
That's cool.
Michael?
Like Liz, I would probably have to say I still have a soft spot in my heart for my very first character, Tehran, a half-elf.
Bless you.
For Brown Book D&D Greyhawk, who I first started where the campaign was pretty much consisting of nothing but there was a Judges Guild supplement put out called Frontier Forts of Kelnor.
I got that.
Which gives basically a 25 millimeter map gridded out for miniatures. and just random tables. There's supposedly all these keeps made all exactly alike on this frontier that had been overrun, and you basically rolled to see what was in the next keep you went to, and then the next, and then the next. And that was pretty much my very first campaign.
Yay.
He got up to 18th level finally.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, I was
And
rather
so
proud of him.
he had a chain of forts.
No, we didn't keep them. We just kept
Oh, okay.
going to the next one, and heck with the last one.
Mike's Frontier Forts. Stop a while.
We'll leave the light on for you.
Fire on for you. Yeah.
We thought the same thing, Mike.
And as far as a villain, I can't think of any that was more popular that I really liked more than some of the others. I guess the closest would be a human wizard who was not entirely evil, but he was convinced like the gods were evil because they held humanity down and forced them to worship.
Uh-huh.
So he had constantly grabbing all these artifacts and stuff to try to overthrow the gods. And the players occasionally got into it because, at least in the old school D&D, there were ways to kill some of the gods.
That's true.
And eventually they got sucked into it, and basically because the gods weren't going to do it in person, so they got to be flunkies, especially the clerics and paladins. So that was Maragon. He was kind of fun because he wasn't entirely evil. I mean, he firmly he was convinced what he was doing was good.
I think most of the villains don't think they're evil because they're convinced that whatever they're doing is right.
Yeah.
Is right. Yeah.
All right. And Glenn.
I was going to take the fifth like Crispy because, like him, I had never played basic D&D. I started with first, and oh, sorry. Jeez.
No, I just
let me just go into my time machine and change that.
Well, he's changing it now.
He's going into his phone booth.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let me yank one out of AD&D here. I've got like 2 or 3 there. The bard with the let's see, it was the bard with the dancing pig. No, and the other guy. I'd have to say, LoJack. He started as a D&D character.
Yeah.
Played with him in the RPGA, and because I had this idea of a working man's fighter, which most of them are, but I mean, this guy was like, okay, he'd pull out a contract every time somebody wanted him to do something, have him sign it. It was all written out. He had a barrister go over it, and he would clock his hours. If he had to go up in the middle of the night, it was overtime, and that kind of thing. It's like, okay, this is a business to him. Fine, let's just do it this way.
Hey,
So
Mike. I was going to say, that sounds like Connie's gaming group. Their plus expenses.
Their plus expenses, yeah, because no matter what, it was plus expenses, no matter what was offered.
Yeah, that's about it. And the only other thing, what I could think of is my chaotic good necromancer.
Excuse me?
I played a chaotic good necromancer. His name was Solomon Dry Heaves. He was a traveling undertaker.
Why am I not surprised?
Well, that was the guy who had healing, but he didn't have the spells. He just had the skill healing. Because, if you're dealing with the dead, you probably know how to heal, fix bones and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, villain. That's a good question. See, like you, I don't have one that really stands out.
All right.
Villain's a villain, and who knows, maybe someday I might have it, but I don't right now. Sorry.
Telnock.
Telnock. All right, Telnock, yes. I was channeling Mike last time.
Come on, Crispy, say it. I hate that guy.
I was just about to say, I hate that guy.
Okay.
Mike, we killed him.
Yes, I know. I did that to annoy you guys.
And of course, we'll never see him again now because we killed him.
No, he's arrested and in jail right now.
He was supposed to be hanged the next morning.
Yeah. Weren't we supposed to watch him being hung?
You guys,
we had to stay in town.
You guys left.
We didn't leave the next day. We stayed in town.
You never went to the ceremony. You were too busy pulling the chain and torturing the waiter.
I did.
What did you do? Stick his head in the toilet or what?
No. Hey,
the
I just
chain.
didn't go. I gave that guy like 7 gold pieces.
He renamed the waiter of the staff of the, what was it, Jeeves or
No,
what?
it was Higgins.
Higgins, that's it. He renamed the guy on his own and just kept torturing the guy by pulling the chain to summon him and making him get stuff.
Oh, God.
Well, but tipped him really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Glenn, go to the next email.
Moving on.
Yeah.
We have one from, actually we have 3 from John Gaunt.
Well.
And they
Hey,
are
John.
rather lengthy.
Huh?
So I'm just going to dive in here. I have spent the past few nights downloading podcasts, 2d6 feet in a random direction, roll for initiative, save or die, etc. I've only listened to a fraction of them and don't know what topics have been discussed here and elsewhere. Random ideas, questions. Dice collecting / usefulness. I know that I have too many dice. What and how many dice are you generally use during your game?
2.
D4, D6, D20? What about game size? D3, D5, D14, D16, D24, D30, D100? Should the DM provide enough dice for everyone? Or should every player bring his own? These questions and more will be answered later. But miniatures. Do you use miniatures for an accurate representation of positioning and movement, or do you use minis for general placement? What are your preferences? Paint or no paint? Primer only? Metal? Plastic? Old school clones. What are your thoughts on D&D clones?
Wow.
Spellcraft and swordplay, chainmailish, swords and wizardry, labyrinth lord, etc. Any grand thoughts about their viability, playability, their modules, and fanzines? Old school cartoons.
Oh my
Warner
God.
Brothers has re-released some 80s, 90s cartoons, Thunder the Barbarian and Pirates of Dark Water, 2 of them. Hey, if you talked about Doctor Who, then cartoons should be fair game too. Sodpod? That actually sounds better than Sodcast.
No.
Julie
The
Hoverson.
podcast is hilarious.
Julie Hoverson. I have some of her Serendipity Circle fanzines from the 90s. I see that your latest podcast has an interview with her. Our podcast a new form of fanzines? John Gaunt. Anybody take anything in there?
Last one first. Yeah, I would say so. Podcasts have sort of inherited the spot kept by fanzines in the past.
I'll answer his questions real quick. Yes, no, maybe, I don't know. Glenn, Crispy, yeah, let's go.
Okay.
I was
Second
thinking that we
email
could
by
come-
John.
How about you?
I want to address some of the stuff that he brought
Yeah,
up.
I do
Oh,
too.
okay, go
All
ahead.
right.
We'll start
Let's-
with Crispy since he jumped in first.
You have
Yeah,
the
let's
floor.
go like question by question. Like the first question was about dice, right?
That's right. That's right.
I don't think you can have too much dice. Like
Not at all.
they're fun to have, but as a DM, I use 2 sets of each die. Basically, I have I keep about 6 6-sided dice for fireballs, and then I have a couple d20s, d10s and whatnot. I have a 100-sided die. I bought it just because I've always wanted one. I knew someone back when I first started getting into D&D who had one, so
I used to have one of those too.
they're cool. They take forever to stop rolling.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah,
big
that's why I
golf
stopped
ball?
using it. My DM wanted to kill me after about the 3rd time.
And I have 2 sets of Game Science Precision dice. I like them a little bit better. I also have, because I live in Vegas, I have casino dice.
Of course.
So anytime I roll stats, I roll casino dice and my precision dice.
Roll them bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Mike and I
And-
have some casino dice from Vegas too.
So do I.
Wow.
Wow.
I only have
But when
to
you go to Vegas, a lot of the casinos have bins of used dice
yeah,
that you can buy
Yeah.
cheap.
I only have dice from Foxwoods and Mohegan, so. The 2 biggest
And,
casinos in the United
Vegas
States.
casino dice are actually they're standard to like 1/10,000th of an inch or something like that. Like the edges are like razor sharp.
Why do you
Yeah.
know this, Crispy?
I
'Cause he lives
watched
in
a
Vegas.
video from Lou Zaki of Game Science, Colonel Zaki,
Yeah.
that had it explained, and he explained like the standards that they use for casino dice.
Yeah.
Mike,
Mine are
you,
from Palace Station.
Mike, you want to address that same question?
Yeah. I've got Liz and I both when we married, our dice collections kind of merged. We've got like the big bag of Crown Royal dice, 2 actually. But then we each have our little dice bags of standard use dice. I tend to keep about 2 of each, except D6s, which I keep 4 or 6, depending. I've got a couple of these just for the innovation of them, but there's some... I don't remember who makes them, but they're basically transparent dice, D6s,
Oh, yeah.
with indentions on the exterior, and then inside it is another little bitty D6.
Oh, wow.
So when you roll 1, you're really rolling 2.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen D10s like that.
Oh, that'd be cool to have too. I didn't know
Yeah.
about that they made any polyhedrons like that, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was always told those are cheater dice.
are they?
That's what I was always told, because they're unbalanced.
Well, unbalanced may not necessarily make them cheater, because unbalanced could pretty much just as easily unbalance against the player.
Well,
I haven't noticed them doing particularly better or worse for me, so I don't know. I suppose I could do the test and find out.
My
but
name is Mike, and I'm going to do a test.
well, my Crown Royal bag, you can tell what kind of player I am because I've got like a couple of sets of polyhedral dice, then about 20 D6.
Oh yeah, champions.
Yes, he said that you're a champions player, aren't you? Yeah, got to roll those energy blasts. Yeah,
Either that or you're a Shadowrun player.
yeah.
I was thinking Shadowrun.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I have about 4 billion 10-sided dice and a whole bunch of other dice. I have so many...
VTM.
Yeah, Vampire the Masquerade, correct.
Yeah.
And I have one special die. It's called the Dice of Fate that has all 20s on it. It's not really a Dice of Fate. I just use it to torture players, that's all.
Shall we answer any more of this? We got miniatures, old steel clothes. I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was thinking there's quite a lot of questions.
Everybody take one question. Go ahead, Crispy, take the next one.
You take the next one. Go.
Yeah, minis. We make our own. We use paper minis. I live, with an artsy person, so he's always making stuff, and we're just recently expanding into paper terrain and paper minis that we're making at home.
Yar.
Cool.
Oh, have you tried any of the Fat Dragon paper minis?
No, I haven't seen them.
Hey. Fat Dragon, that was very rude. The dragon is very sensitive.
That's the name of the
okay.
company.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Gamer humor, folks.
Yeah. Lamer humor. What's the next question, Glenn, so Liz can answer it?
Who takes the old school clones question? Sounds like Liz.
Yeah, it sounds like Liz. She laughed.
Yeah.
Hey, I haven't had a chance to talk about minis yet.
Then you talk about minis then. Go ahead.
Metal minis are my preferences. I'll use plastic if I have to, but I'm a metal snob. Has to be a metal mini.
Metal snob.
As far as paint or no paint, I'm generally quite happy using minis with no paint on them at all. I do a lot of the mini painting for our stuff. Mike had a whole bunch of minis before we married, and a lot of them were already painted. I didn't really start painting any of my own minis until after the two of us married. I always used them just plain. So, yeah, I suppose my personal preferences are metal miniatures, no paint. Moving on to old school clones. I don't have a whole lot of thoughts one way or the other about the D&D clones. I'm glad they're out there. I have played Swords and Wizardry, and I think I've played Labyrinth Lord also at gaming conventions, and had fun with both of them. I don't have any real experience with a lot of the other clones.
Okay. Next question in the list.
Old school cartoons. I'll take this one.
Oh, of course.
Of course. They will never darken my DVD shelf. Not because of what they are, just the way they were made. I am something. Well, I am something of an animation snob. And when I like stuff like the Iron Giant and stuff, I mean, this is back in the dark age of cartoons when everything looked like crap, and it's the esoteric thing. It's not. I mean, I think some of the stories are really good. I mean, I loved Star Trek the animated series. I thought the stories were great, and I do. And how does that explain having Rocky and Bullwinkle in my collection? Well, it doesn't, because I like them for other things. But
what's the difference?
Yeah, what's the difference? It also doesn't explain why I have Johnny Quest there too. So, what's wrong with Johnny Quest, man?
Nothing.
Hey, and also I just was never into the, barbarian, futuristic type of stuff. Now, Pirates of Dark Water, I may have a second look at.
I like
because
that, yeah.
It's pirates. Yeah,
everything's better with pirates.
Yeah, you like Pirates of Dark Water?
Yeah, I used to like that show.
I love that show.
Really? And I know there's a big Thundar fan amongst us, so that's where I stand.
No, a big Princess Ariel fan amongst you.
We're gonna get to that in a minute. Yeah.
I gotta disagree with you, Glenn. I'm from the '90s, so like Pirates of Dark Water, the Peter Pan cartoon, that's what got me into kind of like medieval fantasy and stuff like that. That sort of.
I'm not going to argue that. Just for me, I wouldn't buy them.
You like the Peter Pan cartoon, you said?
Dude, the Peter Pan cartoon from the 90s was amazing.
Peter Pan and the Pirates.
Yeah, Peter Pan and the Pirates. Tim Curry is Captain Hook. Hells yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that one. It's just I just couldn't stand the limited animation and stuff with all these cartoons. I mean, it was like they looked beautiful. They just couldn't move them.
A lot of the cartoons turned to crap after the 80s, so
yeah,
a lot of them did.
But for if you like it, what you got out of it, that's great. I mean, it brought you into D&D, didn't it? Hey,
it did. Like I had Peter Pan and the Pirates, Pirates of Dark Water, David the Gnome. Funny enough, Eureka's Castle. All these great like shows with these medieval fantasy elements.
Oh yeah.
How about Gargoyles?
Gargoyles.
Oh, man.
Now that was a good show.
Gargoyles is amazing. It's probably, aside from Batman the Animated Series, it's the best cartoon to come out of the 90s.
Oh, yeah. Batman the Animated Series was the best out of the 90s, yes.
Yes, yeah. Batman the Animated Series, like, God, just stop there. Never mind the rest of the DC people. Just stop at Batman.
I love the DC Animated Universe. It's like, that's my DC like universe, is everything from Bruce Timm and Paul Dini from the 90s.
I cannot argue that, but it's just like, to me, as far as DC itself goes, I don't want to go off of Batman. Everything else is like, well, that's nice, but hey, Batman's the man,
Yeah, we're digressing.
Yeah. We are digressing, but we're at the end of the email, so we're all right.
Okay, so is that the end of the email?
That's the end of his first email.
All right, we have a one email policy now from now on. So, no, I'm kidding. Read the next one.
Well, it's a good thing because the next one he was talking about Ariel.
Oh, boy.
This is a Mike email. This one goes out to Mike.
Yeah. with a copy to Julie. It says, whoops, just listened to Side Adventure number 3 where Princess Ariel and Ookla and Thundar are mentioned. Okay, maybe that topic's already been covered. Okay, I guess we can skip this then. No, I guess not. How about the Dungeons & Dragons movies? Yeah. Am I the only one in the world who thinks that the first movie was enjoyable?
Yes. When
sitting at the table or talking over Skype, isn't half of the fun being like the Damon Wayans character and goofing off? Similarly, am I the only one who thought when the second movie was deathly boring? It may have been more like D&D, but it lacked the energy of a movie.
I've actually talked to Vince about this. I think Vince had... You more or less had the same thoughts, didn't you?
The second one was meh.
Yeah. I love the first movie. It's terrible, but it's so enjoyable.
It goes to me. It goes into guilty pleasure category.
Exactly.
I don't know. The first movie was meh also, and they could have taken that movie into so different ways and made better actors and everything, but they never did because it sucked.
Yeah.
Well, it was meh with some surprising performances in it.
By who? I'm still trying to... Oh, Jeremy Irons. Maybe that's about it.
I love Jeremy Irons.
Oh, he was such a ham in that thing. And, any picture with can't think of his name now.
Are you
Never
thinking
mind.
of Bruce Payne?
No.
You have the power of
Singing-
the mortals.
No.
Richard O'Brien.
Richard O'Brien. Any movie with Richard O'Brien can't be all bad.
Hey, the Richard O'Brien part and the Tom Baker part
part.
were the only two parts that were worth watching as far as I was concerned. And I love Jeremy Irons as an actor, and it was so painful watching him devour the scenery all around him.
I was just
It
gonna go,
much
Jeremy.
fun watching him devour the scenery.
I know. He's so over the top in that whole thing. It's
wanna
really
go-
just
Yeah.
amazing to watch.
I want to find out how much they paid Dave Arneson to do a cameo in there.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but be interesting to find out. Let's go on. John Gaunt's number 3 email. As good DMs, you should disregard the extraneous portions of my previous emails.
Okay.
I am almost caught up on the same
Now
time.
he tells us.
Yeah, now we think you're going to put this one in the front. Perhaps Liz will finish reading the Holmes novel as I finish listening to the Sodcasts.
No.
I am enjoying the podcast immensely. I like the flow of the conversation, and I also like how the rules pontifications are kept to a minimum. He hasn't heard the latest ones.
Yeah.
I've already heard you cover many topics that were interesting. Even basic topics such as dungeoneering equipment and henchmen kept me interested. The interviews have all been good. I suspect that all the old-timers have stories to tell, and Gene Wells only scratched the surface of the politics and normal lives of the TSR employees. John Gaunt.
Yeah. That was only a scratch of the surface. There was much more that was said that was kind of cut out. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And we've got a different email from somebody else, Aaron from the Chimera RPG, which is almost as long as all 3 of his emails.
Sum it up.
Character backgrounds, whether or not it's worth giving first-level characters a background. Go.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Carcosa, the author, is Jeffrey McKinney.
I guess.
DM Vince's disdain for Hexmath is heresy. Perhaps he should atone to the classic D&D gods by checking out Hexographer and he gives the URL.
I've seen it. It's interesting.
Princess Ariel, meh.
Oh, man. Mike, you're going to take that?
Well, I'm sure she doesn't find Princess Ariel very interesting.
I think that's
Oh.
a he, isn't it?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean,
Chimera
Aaron.
RPG, I think that's a her.
well,
Uh,
Erin spelled E-R-I-N is usually the female version. Not always, but
I have.
most of the time that's a female spelling of the
If that's Chimera
name.
RPG, Aaron, then yes, I've seen emails on the OD&D Guild, and she has been referred to as a she.
oh, okay. Here's one for Liz. Where centipede? That's just the kind of silliness I'd expect from TETSNBN. Dire Squirrel, anyone?
The edition that shall not be named.
Thank you. Dire Squirrel, anyone? Anyway, I think lycanthropy requires anthropomorphism. Thoughts?
Hey, I was not on that episode when talking about were centipedes, I don't believe.
This is
Because
true.
I seem
Nope.
to remember we were listening to that afterwards. It was like, ah!
Yeah, that was me and you, Glenn.
That's true. That's true. Yes, throw that one in for Liz. Maybe a gold dragon becomes a local magistrate to enforce law because the human community isn't doing it properly themselves. No one knows this official is actually a gold dragon, but he's known as the hanging judge, and crime in the surrounding areas at an all-time low. And it's him.
I think you guys owe Mr. Aaron an apology. I'm checking out his website. It is a guy.
Ah.
It is a guy?
Yes,
Wow.
it is.
Okay. I see the advantage of fixed weapon damage, i.e. 1d6 for everything, but variable weapon damage just seems to make more intuitive sense. Put it this way, it takes more effort to justify fixed weapon damage than to use variable dice. By the way, not sure if you covered this, but variable weapon damage is an optional rule in Moldvay, but standard in Metzer. But I think we did cover that, didn't we?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually got asked about that on my View account, and I just answered that last night.
Oh, cool. Go to there and check out Crispy's official answer.
Also,
I like.
Go ahead.
I like fixed. I like 1d6 for everything. I think it makes just as much sense that you can be killed by a dagger stab than a chop from a great axe.
Yeah. And finally, I'd like to see a segment on little-known classic rules. For example, did you know that in Moldvay Basic, the DM is supposed to make all damage rolls, even for PC attacks?
Yes.
Or that retainers only check morale after an adventure, not during combat?
Yes.
Or that, according to Moldvay, when a normal human earns experience points through an adventure, he automatically becomes a member of a character class?
No.
These are not well-known rules, and whether for convenience or playing style, they seem to be ignored. I'm sure there are others. Why not create a bit called Rules of the Unknown and discuss little-known guidelines? If nothing else, it'll give DM Glenn an excuse to create a new bumper, which I endorse.
I do too.
That's it for now. Thanks for focusing on classic D&D. Sodding off, Aaron.
We're sorry, Aaron. We thought you were a girl. But seriously, most of the time I've seen Aaron spelled that way, it's been a girl.
Yeah, because male is double A.
And has been referred to on the OD&D Guild as she, and it hasn't been corrected. Repeatedly. So, whatever.
It's true.
Well, the things that he talks about is for... I knew the DM had to roll the damage for PCs. That was originally how it was intended. The DM was supposed to roll everything. Especially in first edition, the DM was supposed to roll everything. That was the original intention for that. Mm-hmm. That's why all the charts were in the DMG, because the players weren't supposed to know anything. But that didn't make it any fun, so they kind of just changed it a little bit.
Yeah, rolling dice is fun.
Yeah. The morale checks after adventure, not combat, I knew about that. I didn't know about the third one. Experience points through an adventure, he automatically becomes a member of that class.
I think I've read that somewhere. I think I read that, I want to say in Labyrinth Lord, but I'm not sure. Because Labyrinth Lord is Moldvay. It's the retro clone of Moldvay.
Yeah.
Moldvay Cook.
Well, Mike knows all these little hidden secrets most of the time. Mike, do you remember any of these things?
No.
Okay.
Okay, next email. From Micaiah Adams. All. Just in case somebody hasn't answered, the reboot I was talking about was indeed the black bordered second edition books. Those included the player's option handbooks. Shudder. Thanks, M.
Yeah, I remember you guys talking about the second edition books. The black books with the red lettering are a reissue. They came out in the 90s.
Yeah,
the original ones have the white and blue lettering.
I remember.
Okay.
Yep, he's right. In fact, I just looked at a player's handbook for second edition, and it was the black bordered cover, and you did not find out it was second edition until you read the introduction saying, forward to the second edition, which like kind of blew me away.
With the words,
okay, truth in advertising, I guess, whatever, you know.
With the word sucker after? No, I'm kidding.
Sucker, you bought the wrong one. Our next email comes from Sebastian Carraro. Sebastian Carraro. There we go. Hey, guys. I just wanted to say congratulations on a fantastic series of podcasts, and thank you so much for bringing so much enjoyment, laughter, and informative discussion into our household. I fortuitously stumbled upon your site via a thread at Dragon's Foot at a time when I'm rediscovering the wonder of old-school D&D via my kids. They love your show. Guess we're going to have to clean it up. Having played 3rd edition the last few years, our group decided to part ways for various personal reasons. I expect a drought of gaming in the months ahead, but my inquisitive 6 and 4-year-old decided differently. They pulled out a dusty box of my old basic expert 1st and 2nd edition gaming material. Characters were soon rolled, and we immediately began exploring some haunted ruins. Several adventures and a couple of modules later, I've realized just how wonderful and flexible the basic expert system is. We're not slowed down with cumbersome game mechanics, but move through gripping action and exciting group storytelling at an enjoyable pace. Sure, my current group consists of a 4- and 6-year-old, but it's been refreshing having players excited about playing a character because of their traits, strengths and flaws, and personality rather than maximizing stats and power builds. Anyway, after listening to your recent review, we decided to retire our 7th level adventures for a few weeks, and we have been inspired to explore the Lost City.
Ooh.
Thanks again for all your fantastic work and keep the game alive. You guys are awesome. Sebastian Carraro. P.S. Yes, we agree. Kobolds equal puppies, a bit of scaly and horn variety.
Yes.
P.P.S. Is it just me, or do the others find the complete lack of the jolly halfling in current depictions as
Disingenuous.
Thank you. At what point did their evolution did halflings turn into Kender?
I think we discussed this the other night, Mike, right? Dragonlance?
Yeah. Yeah, Dragonlance, pretty much.
They did it. Yep. But thank you, Sebastian. That was very nice. Thank you. I'm glad to hear the youngins getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on that, Mike?
What about the halflings?
No, about the email in general.
I'm glad to see some young people are being introduced to the classic styles.
Definitely.
Yes.
Okay.
I love hearing stories about kids, like old school gamers teaching their kids how to play the old school games. I was going to teach my sisters, but I don't think they'll be into it.
Oh, well. Our next email is from Andrew. Hello. Thank you for doing another classic review. Your discussions about the modules are interesting and fun to listen to, far more so than one person giving a synopsis. Please keep this up. How do you feel about the Gazetteers? They didn't come in boxes, but I would be interested to hear your thoughts as well. My favorites are Gallantry and the Five Shires. What's yours? Why? Cheers, Andrew. I know Vince wants to take the lead on this one.
Me? I've never read them.
Because you don't like the Gazetteers.
I've never read them.
You never? I thought
No.
you had.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, my bad. I'm sorry.
Mike, have you read them?
Some of them. They're basically, detailed books of the world of Mystara. They've got a few extra optional rules and stuff in them, but the most part, they're details of Mystara. If you love Mystara, they're great. If not,
Yeah. Well, I feel about them the way I feel about, like, the D&D supplements in general. I'm not talking about the modules. I'm talking about the supplements. It just seems like for AD&D, you get these big chunks of, like, box sets or big source books and stuff that are right there, and D&D just sort of, like, trickles through. You get a little at a time for the same area. And I don't understand the marketing in that. I really don't.
well, I don't think Mystara, when it was originally published, was intended to be a full-fledged campaign world. In fact, it was just called the Known World in the Cook Expert rules.
So it
I don't know
evolved that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's because fans demanded to know more of the Grand Duchy of Carmachilios or Specularum or what.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
they just decided we need another campaign world and we've already got this, let's flesh it out.
Yeah, they figured, we got like 2 for AD&D. Maybe we need one for this.
There's like 4 or 5 for a basic expert or
Yeah. Okay. What about you,
Mentor.
Crispy? What do you think
My
of the-
favorite part, my best experience with Mystara are the D&D arcade games from the 90s. Tower of Doom and Shadow over Mystara.
Okay. So you like,
And I have the Rule Cyclopedia, which has some information on, the known world. And I like the concept of the, I can't remember the name, but the world within the world. Where everything's
Hollow
upside
Earth?
down.
Hollow World?
Hollow World, yeah.
Hollow Earth, yeah.
Hollow Earth?
I think that's a really cool concept. But, I wasn't around when these things were being published, so I don't even think I have files or anything of them. And I've never seen any of the Gazetteers in bookstores.
I
Really?
know. No.
Oh, wow.
No. And, I hunt, like, used bookstores. I hunt for, usually basic, but sometimes I'll try to find some first edition stuff.
Hunt is in haunt?
No, hunt for, like, I'll call around and be like, hey, have you guys gotten anything new yet?
Okay.
Well, if you find any from a collector's point of view, snap them up because they're a bit pricey.
They are.
Yeah.
That and the Creature Crucible stuff and,
That's
that kind
even
of-
more. Yeah.
Yeah. There are only 4 of those.
Do they qualify as a review?
Could be.
I don't know. Mike, what do you think?
As a review of what?
To add on the show.
Oh, potentially.
Okay. Well, we'll have to talk about it.
And this comes up to our final email of the night,
Aw.
day, whatever, by Bill Staven. Hey guys, love your podcast. I'm coming in on my 30th year of gaming, having walked into the hobby right at the beginning of first edition. I just recently discovered Labyrinth Lord and rediscovered OD&D by proxy, and am in the midst of my own OSR. Digging around for other retro clones brought me to Lamentations of the Flame Princess, a nice, if not bleak, old-school system, and a random esoteric creature generator. I would very much like to hear a review of both products. Thanks much, Bill.
Well, thanks for the email, Bill.
Yeah, thank you, Bill.
As far as a review, I don't know about everybody else, but unless someone's intending to buy it, we won't be able to review it unless we get a review copy, because the box set is very pricey.
Now we're talking about Lamentations here, or?
Yes, Lamentations of the Flame Princess, I believe, is between $50 and $60.
Whoa.
Well, I may be able to help with that.
Now, I understand it's got an awful lot of stuff in it, so you're apparently getting your money's worth, but
True.
It costs a chunk of change.
Yeah. I knew we'd eventually have to address the retro clones and, reviews or whatever like that.
Well, I don't know necessarily that Lamentations is a retro clone.
I still don't know what it is.
It's based sort of on an old original D&D, but it's very weird fantasy.
Is it like a reinvention or a re-envision?
Sort of. It deals more with the idea of weird science as much as fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Carcosa writ large. In fact, that's why Carcosa isn't available anymore. It's going to be reissued as a supplement exclusively for Lamentations of the Flame Princess.
So it's kind of steampunkish, are you saying?
No, it's more Thundar the Barbarian.
Oh, well.
Only darker and more fantasy involved into it. But yes, you've got weird science as well, and
like Eberron
alien
setting,
tech
maybe?
and all sorts of weirdness.
Like modern day Eberron setting?
I don't know about Eberron.
I was thinking more like, it sounds more like Dark Sun to me.
Could be.
Yeah.
And Eberron, as a third edition player,
I know.
I hate Eberron.
I hated that setting.
Eberron is terrible.
Oh, boy.
All right. So do we have any more emails?
That is it.
Oh.
We have hit the bottom. So, folks, if you want to hear some more emails, you got to send some more in.
We'll do another show when we have more emails, and we'll play voicemails as we get them. 570-290-7287.
Safe.
And send those emails to SaberDiePodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can contact Glenn directly at Glenn@Saber. No, I'm kidding.
You always ask me
Glenn
and Crispy a question.
At trasklover.com.
.com.
Oh, boy. Someone's going to go register trasklover.com now.
Just don't direct it to a porn site, okay?
I should email Trask Lover.
Go ahead.
To see
Yeah, this is going to be like the ongoing story here for a while.
Fans now want to know next time we do a show what has happened between the two lovebirds.
I guess I'll...
Maybe it's simply a platonic respect of...
It could be.
Maybe it's not me, it's Trask. She loves Trask.
Oh, give us a little Trask voice.
I don't wanna.
Oh. Come on, Crispy.
That
That was your Trask voice?
was the Trask bro.
What was he, in the privy or what?
Trask taking a
Always
dump.
toilet jokes with you people. No. I don't even know what to say, man.
Hey, that was a good one.
Hey,
He's getting into a whole weird area here.
It is.
Trask Irwin's here.
Irwin!
No, Ariel. Was it? No.
No, Mike's character's Irwin, so...
Oh, okay. Oh. Ooh,
I actually had an idea. I don't know if anyone would be willing to do it, but we should maybe set up a Saver Die P.O. box. So if people have review copies, they can send them into you.
Do people even use the mail anymore?
I get
And what, we got 5 people in 5 different parts of the country?
Yeah, send it to
Yeah,
5
get you
different.
a review copy.
Let's each
Yeah,
one of
we're-
us set up a PO box and have people. Just
Yeah,
give
for
us-
some reason it's in Alaska. We don't know why.
Or you could set up a PayPal so people could donate for the purpose of getting review copies.
I know.
Oh, it's true.
I hate asking people for donations though.
You shill, you. It must be from living in Vegas. I don't know.
I could set up, I guess, a donation thing on the site for tips or something, but I hate doing that. It's like, I hate the podcast you listen to and they're like, by the way, if you'd like to donate $5 or more, you'll have your name shouted out on the podcast.
No, it was just strictly, just kind of snowballing that idea to be able to get these, because old box sets that are in good condition they're expensive.
Yeah, they are.
I saw a copy of Wrath of the Immortals that was like $110 at a local comic shop.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
They had a
right,
copy of Rule Cyclopedia for $50.
I know, that kills me.
Glenn's on the
Yeah,
hunt.
and I was like, this book is
Well, let's put it out there
almost
for
20 years
everybody.
old.
Glenn is looking for a copy of the Rules Cyclopedia, preferably
Or
or
BX.
oh yeah, the BX set.
Yes.
So anyone who wants to help him out, write into the show, and we'll hook you up with Glenn's email address.
Sure. I don't mind giving it out. I'm giving it out to worse people.
That's true.
Look,
Well, this is Vince signing off for the crew. We'll be back with another show shortly. We got an interview coming up with Mike Carr
we do.
this weekend, so look forward to that. I know Mike is looking forward to coming on the show, and I know our Mike was looking forward to the interview.
Yeah, yeah. Been working a while for it.
And he finally got it.
Yeah.
We thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. This is going to be a good one.
Let's see how the interview goes.
Yeah.
Mr. Positive here. Okay, yeah, let's see how the interview goes. Okay.
Why bother?
Mother, praise
I'm
the
sure it will
lines
be
of
lovely.
All right, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good
folks.
night.
And I
Good night.
In the not too distant future, next Sunday AD, there was a guy named Joe, not too different than you or me. He worked in a satellite loading bay, just polishing switches to pay his way. He did his job well with a cheerful face, but his bosses didn't like him, so they shot him into space. We'll send cheesy movies, the worst ever made. Joe says when you got lemons, you make lemonade. Now keep in mind he can't control when the movies begin or end, because he used the extra parts to make his robot friends. Robot roll call camera. Servo, Gypsy, Crow. If you're wondering how he eats and breathes and other science facts, just repeat yourself, it's just a show. I should really just read